Good day, traders. This is Rich from tradesight. Here's a look at the market leading stocks for the coming session. This is going to be for Thursday, the 26th of March, 2015. Had a very ugly downside day here for the longs, and a very nice downside day here for the nimble traders who were playing on the short side. A great trade in Apple on the short side, short in that it lost 126.50. He's closing today here about 123.30. So nice session there. I think the key takeaway here from the signals is that there's just a complete absence of buy signals. We do have some downside CPSs, but it's not a huge preponderance. You can see we did get some volume, so this wasn't just a bid vacuum. There was some legitimate selling. You can see that by the evidence here in the volumes, and also look at the open close deviations. So there's a lot of downside action today. Moving on to the financials, they were also mostly to the downside today. Had some volume, so keep an eye on the ones with the open close deviations and the VWAP deviations as well. Kind of about the same thing, about maybe 1 out of 2 with the downside CPS, but again, the complete lack of bids here. Energy patch was a little bit more mixed. There was some geopolitical stuff going on, talking about Saudi Arabia massing troops at the Yemen border. So that took crude up today, closed up about $1.50. So that kind of buoyed the energy patch. So definitely some news-driven things there. Are seeing some volume bumps there, but definitely not universal. Moving on to the market generals, these were actually weaker than the NASDAQ patch. Got more than 2 to 1 to the downside here with the CPSs. Not as many volume bumps, so it wasn't as much selling here. It was more in the high beta names, the biotechs, and a lot of the technology names. The semiconductors were down more than 4.5% today. So we do have some negative indications here for tomorrow. Look at Hewlett Packard, downside CPS with massive open close deviation and a VWAP deviation. VMware, that was really strong yesterday, was terrible today. And Best Buy, BBY, open close deviation as well. As far as the housing names, not really where the action was today, though they were weak with the market. You can see less volume here. Transportations were really weak with the higher energy prices. Keep an eye on the airlines. We had a nice short in American Airlines, AAL. That's getting into the S&P 500 gap. When it was announced that was being re-added. So keep an eye on that. There's plenty more room there for that gap to fill. That has a downside CPS for tomorrow. We played that short today. FedEx, same thing. Weakness again on higher energy prices, and they were all pretty weak. Now moving on to the commodities. A lot of downside CPSs here. Gold was actually used, in my opinion, as a source of funds. So we're selling some of that. And we're definitely seeing some signals to the downside here. Also, U.S. Steel, which had been on the mend, rebounding nicely, but in the contra panel to the downside. Keep an eye on that. That could be ready to change trend back to the downside. All right, folks. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.